Okay, so welcome to the Q&A for August 2023. Normally with these videos, I put out the questions way ahead of time before the end of the month, but yeah, I forgot. So I put them out yesterday, I'm recording them today, and it'll probably go up either tomorrow or on Friday, who knows. Anyways, you guys had questions, I have answers, let's get to it. First question is from X-Spirited, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, and they say, do you feel like TCA is going to have a bright future, even with the state of the game's player base? I, for one, would really love to hear your opinion, and also keep making TCA videos. They're really fun to watch, especially when you actually enjoy the game. Thank you. Now, as for the whole player base issue, this is a huge can of worms to open, so it might take a little bit to explain all of it. The whole thing with TCA's player base has been really disappointing to me, mostly because I felt like I would be able to have a bigger impact than I guess I have, and I also had a lot more faith in the people who watch my videos than I probably should have. That sounds mean, but I mean, it's true. If you look at the first video, well, the first one recently anyway, that I made about TCA where I recommended the game, that was on the Made in Heaven update. And in that video, I talked about a lot of the problems the game had, but also how I feel like it actually had potential. And if you look at that video, you'll notice that it got around 80,000 views or something like that. And despite 80,000 people watching it and 80,000 people seeing that I enjoyed this game and I recommended it, I don't think the game ever got past around 300 players at its peak after I put that out. I don't think I need to tell you that 300 is a lot less than 80,000. I was sure that we'd at least get to like 5, 6, maybe 700, because even garbage games like Stand Upright Rebooted and Roblox is Unbreakable and what is that other game? Crusaders Heaven, like all of those games can somehow pull in tons of people, but this one just isn't capable, and I don't really get it. But regardless of the amount of people playing, of course I think TCA has a bright future ahead of it, assuming that we can convince people to actually play it. Because right now I think it's a lot more fun to play than any of the other games that are available in the genre. When I was recording the background footage for this video, it took way longer than it probably should have because I had that sort of, okay, just one more game. Okay, just one more game. That sort of phenomenon I have not had at all since old YBA way back in the day. So I feel like that in of itself sort of speaks for itself. Next question's from Clockworker Money, and they say, with the excitement you seem to show from TCA, will you ever host any tournaments like you did for YBA? Also loving the private boat streams. Well, there are no boat streams, and there is no boat, so I can't help you with that one. But as for the tournaments, yeah, I do have plans to bring tournaments back, at least in some capacity. Right now, there's been some logistic stuff that I've been trying to work out when it comes to tournaments, as well as just putting aside some anxiety to get on and host them, because I don't know, I guess in the same way that I can't really log on to AUT anymore, I have the same sort of things with streams where it doesn't feel good about starting one, and I can't explain the feeling to you. I'm not capable. But regardless, I do want to do tournaments on the game for sure, and I think that could be fun, especially since servers can hold up to 20 people, which means we can have a fair amount of people in the tournament, which should help with the, getting past boring matches and having the final matches actually be exciting. But yeah, it's planned, and hopefully you'll see some of that soon. Next question from DDD the Boy 9913. Are you planning on doing another beginner's guide like you did with YBA for TCA? The original really helped me out, and I find myself lost all the time in TCA. I don't know how you got lost, I'm gonna be honest, and that's the main reason that I haven't made a beginner's guide for this game, because I figured, considering the fact that the game gives you map markers and tells you where to go pretty much all the time, aside from sometimes when it sort of glitches out, it's really not that hard to figure out what you're doing. But apparently that's not the case. So I guess I'm just alone in thinking that it's pretty self-explanatory, because I've gotten questions upon questions upon questions about a beginner's guide for this game, and because of that I made one. It's already done. In fact, it might even be released by the time you're seeing this, and if it's not, then you'll be seeing it very soon, because yes, I've put one together and it will be coming out pretty soon. Real Phoenix Blast 2365 says, are you planning on doing more Battlefield content? Those videos are almost hilarious to see you and your friends messing around. Sort of. The Battlefield videos always fail miserably, which isn't really hugely surprising, but considering the most recent view numbers when it comes to TCA and really literally anything I post on my channel, I couldn't even consider some of the Battlefield videos doing bad anymore, because technically everything does bad. But regardless, I have some clips from a play session I had with my friend Luke that have been sitting around for about a week that I was going to make into a video, and then I just didn't do it. But I still have those, so that might happen. But I don't really play Battlefield super often, and when I have recently, it's just been sort of to blow off some steam after I'm exhausted or playing with some of my friends. And a lot of those play sessions, if not all of those play sessions, are mostly me just being quiet and playing the game. And funny stuff doesn't really happen, I'm just playing. So in that sense, I wouldn't expect a whole lot, but there might be a little bit of stuff on that coming soon. Anto Freep 3419, again, sorry about the name, says, do you think TCA will become similar to current YBA in a few years? There might be the possibility the devs will care more about the money and they could stop caring about balance, like Uzu, if the game gets more popular. I don't think so. Number one, the game has to survive for a few years, and the player counts have been pretty rough, so I don't really know if that's going to happen. I hope it will, but you never know. And the other thing is that I've actually, had the privilege of speaking with the owner of the game and the head of staff and all of the people on the staff team for the game. Something that just never in a million years would have happened for YBA. And I think that alone should speak to the integrity of Peter, the man behind the game. The first step is the game actually making a bunch of money, and then the second step would be throwing all integrity out the window, something that I just can't really see happening. I'll eat my words if some time comes to pass and that ends up happening, but I really don't think so. Zandy Near says, in your opinion, if a new officially licensed JoJo game comes out, like Eyes of Heaven or All-Star Battle, what do you think it should be? A fighting game, MMO, single-player RPG? What kind of game do you think a JoJo game should be? I don't think a JoJo game should be anything. But what I do think is that if we ever actually get another officially licensed JoJo game, for God's sakes, let it not be a fighting game. We've had fighting game after fighting game after fighting game when it comes to JoJo, and it feels like nothing else ever really gets a shot. And frankly, those fighting games just don't sell, because at the end of the day, fighting games are a medium that's only enjoyed by a small subset of people. So I really think if they want to have a game that actually succeeds, try literally anything that isn't a fighting game. That's my opinion on it. Frosterno asks, does people not watching your TCA videos demotivate you? Also, keep up your TCA videos. It's on par or even better compared to your other videos. Also, I enjoy watching you have fun. It makes the video more entertaining. And I mean, of course it demotivates me. How could it not? It's been really bad recently because for the most part, the TCA videos were performing okay up until recently where we've had some really bad dips. So far, the video that I decided to do on the update has done pretty bad. The video that I did where I played with my friends did also pretty bad. And really just in general, videos that I've put out about TCA recently have just not done well. The reality is YouTube is my job, and so if things keep taking a downwards turn, eventually I'm gonna have to do something about it, or I'm gonna be out of a job. Whether that means making more videos, which is gonna be a lot of work for me, or biting the bullet and making videos on stuff that I don't want to, like Deep Woken, GPO, all those stupid popular games that will guarantee 100,000 views plus. But regardless, yeah, it really hurts, and it's taken a big toll on, I guess, my mental health recently. For reference, when I put out the I Will Never Get Beat Down video, I was pretty sure it would do all right, and then it just didn't, and I spent the entirety of Friday not working on anything. I was just so down in the dumps and felt, I don't know, empty, that I just did nothing. I guess it wasn't good. Like, I had things to work on, there were things to edit, and normally I'll be excited to put things out because people will see them, but after that, I just couldn't. So yeah, it's really bad, and I hope that either I get better at clickbait and fooling people into clicking my videos, or I don't know, something's got to improve because it is not good. On an equally darker tone, Jacob WY5GP says, do you think you'd ever play more games like Dark Souls? By that I mean like games that have been said to be extremely difficult to play. Well, I had initially planned to play through some more FromSoft games, but after the performance of Dark Souls 2, I really don't think that's going to happen. I mean, just look at it. Look at that. That's horrendous. How can I possibly justify making more videos on those games? How can I do that? It's like I'm trying to put myself out of a job. I can't. Like, I wish I could, but I can't. I'm sorry. Finally, dragging ourselves out of the dumps. Drag0948 says, what are your thoughts on TCA's leveling grind? Because as someone who's thinking about switching from YBA, I would like to know if you think it's better or worse in terms of time spent leveling to max for PvP. This is something that admittedly I screwed up big. I have basically never mentioned at any point that it takes like 30 to 45 minutes to put yourself at max level for PvP in TCA. I just haven't said it. And so there's probably a lot of people that would jump on board if they knew that it would only take them a half hour to get to max rank and be able to play the game. But they don't know that. They just assume that every game is like every other game on Roblox and it's going to take you like 50 hours. So why would they want to jump in and then have to grind a whole bunch in order to actually play? So to answer your question, yeah, it takes like 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour if you know what you're doing. So comparatively to YBA, which I think took like 6 hours if you wanted to get an account all the way up to Prestige 3 max level, that's nothing. So if you want to try the game, you basically have no excuse. It's child's play. Dry Complimentary 6363 says, hey Clips, my question is, will you ever play the other Arkham games? It was really fun when you played Asylum. I want to. Same problem with Dark Souls though. Reality is, the Batman video, I think I did one of them, did not do very well. Admittedly, it did better than some of my recent videos on other games, but I think that's also because at that point in time, my channel was more relevant because I was uploading more YBA videos and videos that people actually wanted to watch, and not TCA where people just go, nope, I hate that, and throw it in the dumpster. But yeah, I want to. If I'm given the opportunity and people will watch it, I will play them because I do. But at this point, it's looking like I might just play them on my own time because the first game is really, really fun and I want to play the others, and it sort of fuels into the problem I end up having with single player games where a lot of the time I'll own them, but I just won't play them because I'm like, what if I played this for a video or a stream or something, and then I just never get around to it. So I think that's one of those games where I'm just going to have to bite the bullet, play it on my own time, and enjoy it to the fullest, and you guys just won't be able to experience that because, well, it's a lot of work to put in for nothing. And finally, the last comment, of course, it had to be YBA, didn't it? ABCD-RD, I don't even know. Do you believe that you might want to return to YBA if there was a major change in the game, such as ownership change or a combat rework? Well, probably, yeah, but that's not gonna happen. You gotta face reality. All of you have to face reality. The current state of the game is what you're gonna have to accept because that's not gonna change. It's not like tomorrow Uzu's gonna think, let me sell this off to someone who's gonna give a shit. And even if Uzu did decide that he would sell his cash cow, I guarantee you if he's selling the game, it would just end up in the hands of someone equally as bad. So that's not happening. And a combat rework? Are you kidding me? No. The combat rework that we got wasn't even technically a combat rework, but it ended up being one because they reworked all the specs, which then changed how combat worked. On top of the fact that they gave a bunch of stands huge combos that you didn't even need a spec for, which was basically never a thing before. But regardless, reality is neither of those things are happening. If they did, yeah, but it's just not gonna happen. We all know it. Anyways, that's the end of the Q&A. I know I got a bit down in the middle of there, but hey, these Q&As are about me, right? They're questions and answers to me. So if you're asking about that kind of stuff, I guess it goes without saying that you're gonna hear about me in them. But yeah, hopefully maybe more people will click those videos, or I'll get better at clickbait. I don't know. But regardless, I'm wrapping up here. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that kind of stuff. If you didn't, don't. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time.